What's up, y'all? It's Deep Talk with T, episode 24. Today's topic of discussion is cool careers. Cool careers. Well, I don't know if kids even these days still do this type of shit, but back when I was in school, in elementary school, we had something like career day. And there's like career day where your parents come in and talk about their careers. But then there was also this real cool, I don't even remember what the hell the place was called, but it was this facility, and it was set up like a little town. Like the building was set up like a little town on the inside with carpet to represent grass or a place that you weren't supposed to be on, or pathways that were like walkable. Like they had a little place that you could get popcorn in there, or they had like a courthouse. So everybody had a job in this little town. You were either like a policeman writing people tickets for being where they weren't supposed to be. You could be a judge in the courthouse. I was a lawyer. There's so many different things that you could do in the little place, right? And then some things were seen as like cool careers, and then other things weren't seen as cool careers. Like the lawyer thing, it was seen as a cool career, and I enjoyed it. But like one thing that you noticed when you did any of the careers was that it was repetitive. So anything that seemed cool at first, by the time you're at the end of the day, it's not so cool. Because if you thought writing tickets was cool at first, by the end of the day, you're probably sick of writing tickets. Or if you thought that the popcorn place was cool, I don't remember anybody who wanted to work in a popcorn place, but some people do. They wanted to do stuff that they thought was more menial because it gave them less responsibility and more freedom. And they ended up, not everybody ended up having a learning experience through this place. Either you realized that was something that you really liked doing, or something that you didn't like doing. But the whole idea of a career being cool sort of lost its illusion, because you realized that cool was what you wanted to do. So that is the topic of today. What the fuck do you want to do? As far as a career, so many things can seem like they're fucking cool, but if you don't enjoy doing something, it doesn't matter if it's how it looks from the outside, you won't enjoy doing it. And if you do enjoy doing something, then it still doesn't matter how it looks from the outside, because you enjoy doing it. The bottom line is, are you doing what you really want to do? Because if you're doing something that you want to do, you'll make it look cool. Trust me. Like, there's so many back in the day, like Steve Harvey, freshest hairline on the planet. Everybody wanted to know who was his barber. And that man started being able to get more money for being a barber than most barbers have probably ever thought of. Just because his client became world famous, not because of his hairline, but because of his hairline. Like, it was like, yeah, we know you for comedy, and that's funny, and that's how we get to know you. But then once you stop making us laugh, now we're looking at you to see who are you. And one of the things that was real apparent about Steve Harvey was his hairline. Motherfucker stayed crispy. So doing anything that you enjoy doing at a high level will yield attention a lot of time. Like, if you cook real well, then that'll yield attention. I used to work at a hospital in a gastroenterology suite. For people who don't know what that is, it's a place in the hospital where they do digestive system type surgeries, and very minimally invasive stuff or real invasive stuff. And we're going in people's mouths and we're going up their butts. And the guy who was like the main doctor there, he ended up having a suite named after him. This man has been in ESPN and New York Times and all sorts of other media outlets. And what he does for a living is go up people's assholes and clips polyps out of them. The difficult ones, the incomplete ones, the ones that people aren't sure if they're cancerous, they can't get to, or whatever. He's the colon specialist. He doesn't catch touchdowns. He doesn't win like NBA championships. He don't dunk on nobody. He's not flashy. He doesn't make music. None of that other shit. But still, people want to know about who he is and what he does, because he does it at such a high level. He makes what the fuck he does seem cool. What is cool is doing what you want to do. And that sounds like some cliche shit. Oh, just do what you want to do. Until it actually works out. Until you're the one doing what the fuck you enjoy, and you're doing it at a high level. And because you're doing it at a high level and you're bringing value to people by doing it at a high level, you get paid more for that. And then you enjoy it even more because it's like, wow, I was enjoying this and now I'm getting paid for it and I'm getting paid well for it because I'm bringing that much value to people. Now it allows me to focus completely on that and I can just keep getting better and better and better. Taking away the ideas that society feeds you. And people compose society individually. So if you're contributing to those ideas when you feed into the shit. If you affirm a thought that is something that is just a popular thought and not something that came from you or something that you actually agree with, you're part of that sauce that society is. People are lost in the sauce. This is going to be a whole different video, but people are lost in the sauce. If you have no direction about what you're doing, then that means you are lost in the sauce. And this still might be a whole nother video, but people being lost in the sauce, how do you get direction? How do you get some guidance? What do you want to do? If you couldn't breathe, the need for breath, the need for oxygen would give you all the fucking guidance you needed. It would tell you everything that you needed about what you needed to do or what you wanted. It would be very simple. You need to breathe. So when you build on that, build from that place of urgency. Build from that, and not even use the word urgency. Let's take that out of the way. Build that from the place of introspection. Build it from the place of experimentation. Build it from the place of your individuality. Customize your lifestyle to you and to who you are. Because if you're doing something because, again, you think it looks cool to somebody else to be a lawyer or to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, or to be an athlete, or to be anything, if you're doing it because you think it looks cool to somebody else, you're not going to end up fulfilled. I'll tell you that from the start. You're not going to end up fulfilled. If you end up actually having love for it too, and that you just started because your dad told you you need to do this, but hey, I actually found out that I fell in love with this, that's one thing. But if your heart's not in something, like the last video, do you care? If you don't care, then you're not going to be able to put your all into it. It's not going to be able to give you anything back. You're not going to be able to reciprocate the process and keep it going and growing. But if you pick some shit that you love to do, then that will end up being fucking cool. People get on the bandwagon. People get on the bandwagons for teams that are piss poor. There's nothing cool about them until they get the right person. And then they start rolling, and then they're cool. Like, it's so ridiculous the way that trends go because people are so fickle. People are so ruled by emotions that the ways that their preferences go and where they give themselves to, it doesn't have a sense of solidity. It doesn't have a sense of continuity most of the time. That's why you don't have just a whole bunch of diehard fans in every state. There's not just a whole bunch of diehard fans in every state. You'll have some diehard fans. You'll have some people who are diehard fans for places in another place. But a lot of people are bandwagon fans because they want what's winning. People want what's winning. So if it seems like it's sipping lean and popping pills, well, let's do that because we want to be a rapper. And all the rappers are sipping lean and popping pills and fucking somebody's bitch. So let's do that. Instead of focusing on the craft. All the athletes are starting up to be rappers and starting fashion lines, so let's do that on the side of our basketball. Let's not focus all the way in on basketball and get really fucking good at that and then do something on the side when we're world class at it. Let's just spread our attention around. Cool careers. Don't do some shit because you think it's cool. Bottom line, point blank, period. If you want to do some shit because you're interested in it, go ahead, experiment. See how the results affect you, see what they tell you, and then respond accordingly. But doing some shit just because you think it's cool, you'll end up empty and unsatisfied and unfulfilled. And I won't have any sympathy for you because I warned you here on Deep Talk with T. Much love, y'all.